in the preparation for this fight?
Yeah, that's a good question because it has affected my style a little bit. But as for how I got there, I was training on the East Coast in Jersey and Philly with a great squad. I had Edson and Frankie and all those guys. Training with Nick Catone and Ricardo Almeida, and I was with Daniel Gracie for a long time too. But I was doing so much traveling in the car that I think I felt like I was doing more work than I really was because I was spending hours in the car back and forth where it was just making me more exhausted. It honestly wasn't making me excited to go to training because of all the driving. And when I took that loss to Trinaldo, I had signed with a new management team. It was with Sucker Punch Management. Brian Butler was the ones like, we need you somewhere that's focused on you and not 13 other guys, you know what I mean? And Rufus Sport's kind of small. I mean, I know we've got some superstars there. We got the Pettis brothers who are awesome, and Gerald and me and Bilal and all these guys in the UFC. But it's a tight-knit family. And he's like, just go out there for a week and check it out. And I bought a one-way ticket, just assuming, all right, let me see if it's going to work out at all. And I did 2 days of training. I did sparring on Monday, jiu-jitsu on Tuesday, and I called my family back home. I said, I'm not coming back until after the fight.
So, obviously, you mentioned a couple of your teammates there, and another one of them is obviously Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
The main eventer of this card.
Who?
Tyron Woodley. The main eventer of this card, Gunnar, has actually predicted and said that he's backing Damian Maia in their upcoming fight. How do you see that fight going down?
I think Tyron's wrestling, first of all, is above and beyond a lot of the guys that have fallen to Damian Maia. So I think his wrestling pedigree and he's short, he's stocky, he's strong. I think he's got the build to keep him off of him, and that's what he's got to do, really. I think as long as he keeps Maia off of him and lays hands on him, he's going to be still the champ. So I'm backing Tyron. I think he's got this fight.
Obviously, you've been into kind of enemy territory before, but is there something different about the way it feels coming over to Europe? Have you noticed anything different from maybe fighting in the States or anything like that thus far in the lead-up in fight week?
I feel like the excitement is higher because if this was Vegas, this is old news. This is nothing new to these guys. At least over here, Stevie's, a big fan favorite. I feel like over here, people kind of know who I am too. I've kind of always had a little bit of a fan base over here, being the Irish Dragon and all that kind of stuff. So it feels good. It feels right. I feel very good coming into fight week. My weight came in a little early. It's down low. I'm feeling healthy and I'm excited, man. Of course it's going to be rough. You walk out when a guy gets to walk out second. It's his hometown, but like I said, I've got everything right in here that I need to get through Sunday night, and all that is just going to be just background.
Paul, you just got the gig as a commentator for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. So tell us the story. How did this all come about?
I was in the middle of training camp and I got an email from the UFC saying, they wanted me to go out to LA and do the Singapore fights and audition. So, we were kind of in a studio in LA doing them as if we were calling them live and recording it. We did like stand-ups with green screens, and I had to kind of drop everything for a weekend, fly out there and audition. And I think some people that I auditioned for didn't know that I had a background in theater, that I went to school for acting. So when I got up and did my stand-up, people were like, holy crap, you kind of relaxed. You don't seem to have a problem here. I'm like, well, this is what I wanted to do before I ever took a professional fight. So it was fun, man. And then I thought I had it from my audition, to be honest with you. And when I got the text that it was going down, it was like 11 o'clock at night for me. And I got a text from Dana, and it was a number that I wasn't used to, so I thought somebody was messing with me, honestly. And it turns out it was actually him. I was like, I thought I had your number, bro. This ain't you. And it was him.
So, what's the schedule going to be like for you? How often are you going to be doing this?
The way we're doing it right now is Yves going to have it a week, I'll have it a week, he'll have it a week until the end of it. It's like 8 weeks total, so 4 and 4. So I'll get a week break, but I'll be able to watch it and see kind of how things go. And I'm getting all the information for all the fights just in case he can't make it for something happens, I can jump right in, vice versa. If something were to come up, he's ready to go at the same time. So
we've spoken to some other fighters who have become commentators or analysts, and they tell us that with this gig, it makes them better fighters because you're doing so much more homework and so much more research on all these fighters. Are you going to be able to kind of almost use that as a way of kind of helping you progress as a fighter as well?
Yeah, I mean, you get to spend your whole week leading up to this fight looking at 10 different fighters and their styles and their coaches and what drives them, what motivates them. So it kind of just reignites a fire under you, like especially watching these contender guys because they're not in the UFC yet. It reminds you like, oh, that was me, a couple years ago, thinking, am I ever going to get my shot? Am I ever going to be in there? And these guys will do anything to be there. So, and I get to call maybe the fight that gets the guy to the UFC. It makes you realize, look at this. Like sometimes you got to just sit back and you're all interviewing me. I'm here. I got my freaking name here. I reminded myself before I come to these fights, like, take it in, man. You're living it. You're doing it. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, I'm in Scotland and fighting a guy in front of thousands of people. It's exciting.
Are you hoping this will be the long-term career for you within the UFC company after your fight career is over, is to be a full-time commentator for them?
100%. I feel like, okay, it's kind of like you're audition, now you're auditioning again. How do you do on Fight Pass with Dana White's new show? If you kill this, obviously I want Fox, I want Fox Sports 1, I want whatever they're going to offer me. But I know that this is my first step, it's my baby step. And if I can show that, I can handle this, and maybe I get a guest spot on a fight where I'm, familiar with some of the fighters that are fighting and they want my opinion on it, and go on from there. But yeah, absolutely. Once I retire, I'd like to do it full time and try to get back into the acting a little bit too. But certainly being on TV is only going to help that. So.